Hello, friends. If you're catching this live, we are rolling into mid-November. And I want to ask you, are you being intentional with your life? Whether you're catching this live or not, are you being intentional with the choices you're making around your health? So today I'm going to be giving you guys 5 tips to break free from that holiday stress eating and how to spot triggers so that you guys can be healthy, so that you guys can stay on track with your weight loss goals. So often stress eating comes from a place of not being able to handle uncomfortable emotions. And many of us grew up with food as a form of comfort, and then it just becomes an automatic response to stress. So I'm going to start to break this down today, hopefully give you guys something to think about. And I know that so many people put off their health till after the holidays, but I encourage don't let that be you guys, especially if you need some support and accountability. Reach out to me. We can set up a free call and go over your goals and your struggles. Find out where we can develop consistency, what habits we can tweak, how we can make your health work, even if this is a busy season for you. Like, you don't have to give up. There are things you can do even when you're busy to start take care of your health, to start to move your body. So if you need help with that, set up that free call and then we can talk about how to put this in place for the season of life that you are in right now. So check the link down below this podcast. Hi friends, and welcome to the Healthy Beyond 40 show. I'm Michele, mama 4 and military wife, and I'm passionate about helping women get healthy from the inside out so they can feel better and live their best life. Do you feel like you're struggling to lose weight and get in shape? If you're ready to develop healthier habits, exercise consistently, and lose weight sustainably, then you're in the right place. I combine my expertise from my doctorate in physical therapy to my experience as a health coach, personal trainer, and yoga teacher to bring you actionable steps for a healthy lifestyle. No magic pill here, so lace up those shoes and get moving. So before we get started with the 5 tips, I just want to give a little more background about stress eating and really the emotional roots. So stress eating is often a way that we try to handle our emotions that we're not really aware of. So maybe we're feeling stressed, maybe we're feeling anxious. We go to grab food, it gives us a dopamine hit, and it makes us feel better. And many of us have learned early on from when we were a child that we use food for comfort. Maybe you were sad and you get a lollipop. And so now as adults, we tend to fall back on this habit of using food to calm our emotions, to make us feel better in the moment. But as we know, it doesn't help us long term. We're still stuck with those same emotions. They pop right back up and they feel so uncomfortable. So we try again to push them away by using food. And I want you guys to remember something first. Emotions don't harm us. Feeling anxiety, feeling anger, frustration, sadness is not harmful. Our emotions are meant to be there, whether we think they're a good emotion or, I'm air quoting, a bad emotion here, because there's really not bad emotions. Now, what can become a problem for our health is when we have that chronic worry or stress, and that can change physical things in our body. But when we have an emotion pop up, if we allow ourselves to feel it and move through it in a healthy way, that doesn't harm us. Our body is supposed to handle things sort of like in waves. So we can go in and out of more of a higher alert zone and down into a calmer zone. So our body is meant to expand both of those. So we don't have to stay in a calm situation all day. We're meant to have those ups and downs. So again, remember, our emotions don't harm us. Anxiety is not harmful. Anger is not harmful. Again, if we stay in those for a long time, they can be harmful, but the emotion itself is not harmful. We just have to have tools to work through it. And especially during the holidays, we can have pressures, we can have family expectations, maybe we have unresolved issues with loved ones that we're going to see, and we have this other stress pop up. So let's dive into the tips here. So number 1 is to set an intention ahead of time. So especially if there is a specific holiday event you're going to, is setting a specific intention. Think about what's truly important to you. Is it enjoying that quality time, staying mindful, sticking to your health goals? Or is it just enjoying as much cake and cookies and pie as you want and not working out. So think about what is important to you and really having a clear intention for each specific event that you are going to. Sounds like it's going to take some effort to really think this through, but it makes such a difference and you end up feeling so much better. Because when you are planning an intention ahead of time, you're focused on the big picture. When you're in the moment, you are not thinking clear. And we can see this with our kids, or even if we look at ourselves. When we're in something, it's like tunnel vision. That's all we can see. Like, I can only see all those cookies sitting out right now. But if we can make an intention ahead of time, we have this bigger picture, and then we can make better choices in the moment. So something I'm always working on with my clients is setting an intention. It's really simple, yet we often don't focus on it or know how to actually put it into action. So inside my personal training app, I have a little group chat, and I try to give a weekly motivation or tip video. And we recently focused on Halloween candy. So the week before, we focused on what was going to be our intention around Halloween candy. And then after, what is our intention with what's left over and going forward. And this allowed people to be really successful. They were able to not eat more candy than they didn't want. They were able to have a deadline when candy was going out of the house. And they were able to live in an intentional place. And they were successful. And of course, in the personal training app, you have a little more support and accountability, and that can be really helpful too. So after we have set a clear intention, number 2 is become aware of your common triggers. So this will be different for everyone. So what are your common triggers that lead you to stress eating or eating when you are not hungry? So some people will tell me that they don't emotionally eat or they don't stress eat, but when I talk to them more, they do. So anytime you're really not eating when you are not hungry, most likely that's going to be some type of emotional eating, like boredom eating is a type of emotional eating. So what triggers you? Is it family conflict? Is it stress? Is it feeling anxious? Is it being around a bunch of people? Is it feeling overwhelmed? Is it not having enough time for yourself? So I want you guys to write that down or text it to yourself. What are some of your triggers specifically when it comes to the holidays? Because when we can start to notice these triggers, we can stay more mindful, and it gives you a chance to do something different before reaching for that food out of that same habit. Because if you are used to reaching food when you are feeling stressed or anxious, that's a pretty strong habit in your brain. Your brain is wired for that. So we have to start to break that down. And that first step is becoming aware of these triggers. All right. And tip number 3, after you have identified the triggers, is notice what happens in your body. So if you know your trigger is going somewhere and being around a lot of people you don't know that makes you feel uncomfortable or anxious, then notice what would happen in your body. And you can even do this by closing your eyes and imagining it. We can pull up emotions and feelings in our body without even being in the situation by just picturing our mind. So we can do this for good or for bad things. So if you don't know what that feels like in your body, close your eyes and imagine you're in that situation and you're feeling whatever that feeling is, and you're getting triggered. And what's happening on your body? Are your shoulders feeling tense? Is your heart beating fast? Can you feel tears coming up in your eyes? Do you feel a sensation in your stomach? Can you feel energy buzzing around? Whatever that might be, because those sensations in our body can help to give us cues. And God gave us these sensations in our body. We don't have to be scared of them. So even our heart beating fast, we don't have to be scared of that. Same thing, we don't want to stay in it, but our heart beating fast temporarily, it just cues us into something. So if we can start to use those sensations in our body as a cue, then we can start to do something else and really get in touch with what our body actually needs. So after we've become aware of our triggers, we're noticing what's happening in our body, I want you to have a way to calm your body. Because the normal way to calm your body has been to reach for food or reach for those sweets. And we need a different way. So can you calm that stress response in your body? Now, some of my favorite ways are deep breathing. It's like the easiest thing to do in the moment, and it helps to bring your body into that calming nervous system. And especially really slowing down that exhale can be helpful. You can purse your lips, and that helps to slow down that exhale. Can you tune into your shoulders? I'm a shoulder tensor. Can you tune into those and relax them? Can they come down a couple inches? Can you move around? Sometimes, especially when we have anxious feelings built in us, our anger, we have our adrenaline going up in our body, and we need muscle movement to help to release some of that adrenaline. Can you do some stretching? I just recently got my certification for EFT or tapping. In the moment, you can tap your fingers, and there's a specific way to do this, but even sometimes I will just literally tap my fingers on whatever surface, all 4 of them together. There's different acupuncture points that run along our body and our fingers, and those help to calm us. So even if someone's a fingernail biter, that hits the acupuncture point and calms them. So you might even notice that you have a spot on your body that you use to calm yourself. So even before I did EFT, I know sometimes rubbing my chest would calm me, and that's because there's an acupuncture point there. So there might be a different spot on your body that if you touch or tap or hold, helps to calm your body down. And the last one is to give yourself time to work through deeper issues. So if you start to realize there's more things going on, maybe you have some unresolved feelings around your family, maybe your own self-worth, maybe something has happened in the past, maybe you've had some trauma. But when you can start to take the time to work through these issues, you can really start to bring healing. So you can start to lose weight by working on your emotional healing, if that's, the thing holding you back. And a lot of times we don't want to work on our emotional healing because it's hard. It doesn't feel good to bring up some of these feelings in the past. But when we can start to do that, it can start to lead us to healing. So whether that's with a therapist or coaching, I encourage you to take that step if you need to. And just know it's okay to make progress gradually, especially when we're working through deeper issues. We want to have that kindness to ourselves. Maybe if the holiday party didn't go like we wanted it to and we ate more, can we practice self-kindness and forgiveness and move on instead of being stuck in that? We don't need to be perfect, but we can celebrate each small step that we're taking. Can we notice those small steps? All right, friends, so those 5 steps: set an intention ahead of time, become aware of your triggers, notice what happens in your body, have a way to calm your body, and give yourself time to work on those deeper issues. So when I do health coaching with people, we work on all these things. Depending where the client needs to go, we might spend time on more in one area than another, to really help that client get in choice with what they want. Because when we are grabbing for food or eating when we're not hungry, we are not in choice with what we want. For example, I had a client that became very intentional about when she went to a certain event with her family. We worked out all the kinks and we got really clear on what it would look like. And she was able to do that and follow through. And that was a big win for her. And she's able to do more and more events like this. And she's gaining confidence. She's losing weight. So when we can start to follow some of these steps and take the time to work on things, we can get to that point where we can start to lose weight, where the inside of our body is healthier. So friends, if that's you and you need some extra support, set up that free call down below. Also link my website so you can see the different services that I offer. All right, friends. Be intentional and don't put your health off, and keep on moving.